Hello, and thanks for joining us on Encore. Coming up on today's show. Georges Prêtre takes his final bow. The French conductor has died at 92 years old after 50 years at the head of the Vienna Philharmonic. Mixing biorhythms with musical vibrations, we meet the singular jazz musician Charles Lloyd. And rock and roll meets religion. The late Pope John Paul II is the star of a new musical opening in Poland. He was one of the giants of 20th century classical music, a man who opera singer Maria Callas named her favourite conductor. Georges Prêtre has died at the age of 92. Prtre led the Vienna Philharmonic for almost 50 years, while also working upon the world's most prestigious stages, from La Scala to the Met in New York. Julia Kim has more on one of France's musical icons.
Conducting the Bolero at La Scala for the last time, Georges Prêtre had cancelled most of his musical engagements in 2016, but he was there in February for a concert gala that earned him 17 minutes of standing ovation. At 92 years old, he remains one of France's most renowned conductors, whose baton led many of the best orchestras in the world. Born in northern France in 1924, Prêtre entered the Douai Conservatory when he was just 6, then Paris at aged 15. His talent and his unique perspective on music propelled him to the podium.
You see, there's always something that needs to be put into images. The score can't only be notes on paper. The notes are just indicators. The music is inside.
In 1960, a life-changing encounter with Maria Callas, who considered Prêtre her favorite conductor.
I'd begin a musical phrase and she would follow, then she would sing and I would step into the same musical world, the world created by the score. We had this connection you can't explain. It was an extraordinary thing.
Together they toured the world in Italy's biggest opera houses. The French maestro went on to conduct the world's most prestigious orchestras, from Chicago to New York's Met and the Royal Opera House in London. But he found his place at the Vienna Philharmonic, where he stayed for over 50 years, twice conducting their acclaimed New Year's concert in 2008 and 2010.
It's a far cry from the smoky jazz clubs of his peers, but musician Charles Lloyd says he finds inspiration in the great outdoors. After shooting to fame during the psychedelia scene of the 1960s, Lloyd has made it his life's mission to tune into nature and transmit his findings through his tenor saxophone. Ahead of a recent gig in Paris, he took some time out to visit one of the capital's green spaces before playing what he heard there to the local audience. Alexander Alcott takes a look.
In this Parisian park, where the leaves are taking their autumnal colours, Charles Lloyd is searching for his new sound. He seeks inspiration from nature.
This tree is very magical, you know. I feel in harmony with nature, yeah. I'm always looking for that sound that can change the molecules, make Earth a better place, and also our humanity of all of us to be kind to each other.
Charles Lloyd's big breakthrough came at the end of the 1960s. His quartet with future piano star Keith Jarrett captivated the hippie movement. The psychedelic crowd enjoyed getting lost in their improvisations. The band was invited to the biggest rock festivals of the era. Then all of a sudden, Lloyd stopped playing as he wanted to get closer to nature in California and devote himself to transcendental meditation. In the 1980s, he picked up the sax once more, now with a new mission to share his findings with the world as he continued his search for sound, a glimpse into his own inner universe.
Now I'm becoming an elder. my sound gets deeper and better. So I'm getting closer all the time. And then the creator, it's like a carrot on a stick. He says, "Not yet, Charles." So I'm still here. If I ever get the sound that I hear in my mind's ear, then I put the instrument down and go back into the forest.
At 78 years old, Charles Lloyd continues to tour the world with his tenor saxophone, enthralling audiences with his unique velvety tones.
Moving to another iconic figure now, but from a slightly different field. The late Pope John Paul II was the second longest serving pope in history and the first non-Italian pope in 4 centuries. Now he's the main character in a new pop rock musical in his hometown of Krakow, Poland. Anka Ula takes a look at this unique show, which opens next month.
Rock and roll isn't a phrase people normally use to describe the Pope. Until now. In Krakow, Pope John Paul II will be rocking and rolling on stage in a brand new musical called Karol. The musical takes an intimate look at the life of Karol Wojtyła, Poland's native son, who went on to become the first non-Italian pontiff in 4 centuries.
He is an unusual figure, and he is going to be shown in an unusual way, because no one has yet seen the Pope singing rock songs and ballads.
The show takes its audience on a musical journey, from the Pope's birth during the Roaring '20s through his boyhood in Krakow. He was an athlete and an actor, and finally, to his rise within the Catholic Church. At times both lighthearted and poignant, it portrays the Pope as a complex, multifaceted person. The cast runs to nearly 100 people. Many of the actors feel personally attached to the Pope, a beloved figure in his home country.
This is a personal experience for me because I think it will be a great commemoration for an important figure for me, important for Poland, and I think important for the world, for the Church.
Hundreds of tickets have already been sold for the show, which opens in Krakow's Toruń Arena on February 25th.
Bringing movie making to European capitals is a lucrative business, and cities like Paris, London and Vienna know the value of luring the industry to their streets. Now international production teams are increasingly choosing to shoot in Hungary to save money. Over the last 10 years, Budapest has overtaken Prague as the top choice for filmmakers in Central Europe. Luke Schrago tells us why it's a good deal for all involved.
A busy film set, though this isn't Hollywood but Hungary, a burgeoning force on the world's filmmaking stage, with more than 250 companies coming in every year to take advantage of lower production costs.
As a filmmaker, I'm really proud of my city. I'm really proud of the people I work with here. We are absolutely class 5 all over in the world.
Hungary provides more than just a lower price tag. Local crews are all fully trained, and filmmakers are also entitled to a competitive tax break, with the National Film Office picking up 25% of the tab for shooting a movie. It's proven a major boon for Hungary, with foreign production firms pouring €180 million into the economy in 2014 alone.
It is very important for the Hungarian economy, because in Hungary, it is the highest in Europe how much the film industry itself contributes to the GDP.
It's not just big bucks, but big stars too. This film studio is one of the largest in Europe and has been the scene of some major Hollywood productions, including Inferno with Tom Hanks and Ridley Scott's The Martian.
In the last 2 years since our tax incentive was increased, and everything's been working well, not only Korda Studios, but all of Hungary has been filled with productions. Budapest has pretty much become the second major filmmaking hub in Europe after London.
The boost for Hungarian cinemas also put its own exports in the spotlight. Last year, the drama Son of Saul took the Grand Prix at Cannes, as well as the Foreign Film Oscar. And with that kind of a wing waiting in the wings on both sides, it seems it may be a while before anyone's ready to wrap on this relationship.
And we're finishing off with a little fantasy, courtesy of the Magicians of Cinema. A Monster Calls is released this week here in France. It tells the story of a young boy struggling to deal with the harsh realities of terminal illness. He gets a helping hand from a mystical midnight visitor. We'll leave you with a preview. Remember to check out our website, and you can also follow Encore on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
I wish I had 100 years. 100 years I could give to you. I'm afraid.
Of course you are afraid, but you will make it through. For this is why you called me. Come on.
You Are Here, your programme spotlighting French heritage.
Versailles, the Louvre, and the Mont Saint-Michel are all well-known stars of French heritage. But French genius and France harbors many other hidden treasures. The arts, gastronomy, architecture, as well as nature's wonders. Come along with France 24 and discover France's living heritage. From young apprentices to accomplished craftsmen, farmers to Michelin star sporting chefs, meet these people whose passion for their professions preserve and drive French heritage.
You Are Here on France 24 and France24.com.